In today's episode, we're looking at how healing yourself has a direct impact on your ability to grow your business. I love exploring business, health and wellness, and spirituality. So we're going to be covering all three aspects today. My name is Serenity Iris. I'm so happy that you are here joining us. If you are new here, go ahead and like and subscribe and comment and share this episode with others who might also resonate with what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So I'm personally going through a healing journey. I mean, I've been going through this all my life, but more intensely in the past few weeks to balance out the masculine divine energy and the feminine divine energy within myself, so that the parts that were maybe hurt in the past are not sectioned off, so that there's much more full integration. And it's been fascinating to go through, and whatever I learn and grow from, I get to share with my community and members as well. So it's been fascinating to see their transformation. So whether it is maybe money wounds, like Ken Honda talks about, where there might have been some kind of trauma or negative belief associated with money, like working or lots of money means that you've got to work hard and it's more stress, or that rich people are evil, or money doesn't grow on trees, or oh, we can't afford that. Those kinds of ideas around money, which all of those I grew up with. Or maybe it's some aspect of your physical health and well-being where it has literally stopped you from being able to lead a really productive, happy, comfortable life. Or maybe there's some aspects within you that because of previous experiences, you weren't really encouraged to share your gifts in a very big way, in a full way. So some parts of you were suppressed or not appreciated. So whether it's at the physical level, whether it's at the emotional level or spiritual level, it's all a process of learning from it, growing from it. And as you do, it opens up the door to so much more than you can even imagine. Let's talk money, because, and it's actually not about money, but it's about the ideas around abundance and trust and feeling of security and safety for a lot of us. And money just happens to be how that can be expressed and supported or not. And so growing up in a family where it was always about scarcity, like it just felt like, oh, there was never enough. We were eating, we would always get the day-old bakery items because the fresh baked ones were too expensive, right? And it's this feeling of, oh my gosh, there's not enough. So you've got to make do with what you have and then eliminate any kind of desire for greater. So it really stunts your growth. Versus, even if I came from a family of really modest means, if the spirit and the curiosity and attention was directed toward, well, what if we could make that happen? How can we figure that out? Wouldn't that be nice? And let's move in that direction. Very different. Now, I've learned these things along the way for myself, but it was a process of some healing and some self-discovery and making adjustments. So if you've been raised with any kind of limiting beliefs, it could be around money, it could be around some other things, know that it's totally possible to shift those within yourself. There's hope, even if you're in a bit of a darker space, right? There have been chapters, seasons of my life where I have felt like, or I've wondered, how am I ever going to shift the circumstance? How am I ever going to provide and do better for my family? So it is possible. So I just wanted to share that. Let's talk about divine energy and gifts. This has been an interesting one as I've been working through the healing process with the divine masculine and the divine feminine. As things are being cleared away, it's like it's like maybe there's a pile of gold and treasures, but on top of that pile of gold and treasures are the things that are just blocking your view and your experience of those treasures. So the wounds, the limiting beliefs, the negative mindsets and paradigms, all of that, right? It's just covering things up. So as the healing is happening, and it's not really, I don't really believe in anyone doing a healing to someone, right? Usually what it is that a healer will be in the capacity of facilitating the person, the individual's healing mechanism to start to flow and kick in. So as I'm doing this within myself, these layers are being peeled back, and there are some gifts that I've been kind of aware of, but not fully present to in the day-to-day. And so that's been fascinating. That's been revealed in my dreams. So intuitive gifts. And so I'm curious to know if you have encountered this kind of thing where as things are shifting and healing within yourself, have you noticed that you're able to maybe see more clearly? You have a new perspective, you have this newfound energy, this joy or spark, or maybe you're even tapping into gifts that you didn't even realize were there. And so the healing process is not all, it's not just like sunshine and roses all the time. That's eventually some of what you experience and feel. But in the beginning process, at least for me, it was painful, and dark and uncomfortable to face and look at some of these things. And so what that does, though, because we live in a world where there's expressed polarity, but the polarities are part of a unified whole. So there will be the darkness with the light, the darkness that leads into the light, or perhaps the light that then casts, creates shadows. So it's not that the dark is a bad thing. I don't label or judge that. It is. It simply is. And same with the light. It's not that that's necessarily a good thing. It is. Come from neutrality, which is a much more unified awareness and state of being. So non-judgment. And so in the beginning of the healing process, it's feeling dark, it's feeling ugly, it's uncomfortable. There are sensations in my physical body, old symptoms flaring up, and I'm like, what's going on? And it was taking me back to certain periods of time where I noticed that, okay, there's that physical symptom popping up again. Oh, and it takes me back to this time when I was intensely, to give an example, I was really intensely in the overachieving mode, really exercising the masculine energy at the cost of almost suppressing or neglecting the feminine, right? So I wasn't allowing myself to recharge, which led to a lot of feeling of overwhelm, feeling sort of underappreciated, feeling go, and in my head all the time versus feeling in my body and relaxed in my body and much more at ease, connecting with the emotional parts, the heart center. And So when that was first coming up in the healing process, it's like that's the beginning process of the layers being peeled back. But if I'm not willing to look at it, if I suppress it or ignore it or hopes it goes away, it sort of gets saved for later. It's just like, okay, well we'll deal with we'll deal with that later, and then later comes and it will be stronger and louder and more uncomfortable. So it's always best to deal with it as soon as you can and allow the emotion. So then what happened was I was getting this awareness through dreams and in my waking state. And then when it got to the level of actually feeling the emotions, that's when the tissues in the body were releasing and not holding on in kind of a pain sensation, but they were relaxing and I felt more ease. And it was fascinating. And it wasn't that long in terms of the uncomfortable emotions. It was pretty short-lived because I didn't fight it and suppress it. Okay, so what does this have to do with business? Well, so then fast forward just a little bit, a matter of days, I'm feeling more balanced and tuned into the feminine energy along with the masculine energy, which is, so it's, exercising intuition, I feel is a good balance between the two, and being open and receptive is definitely the feminine. So just exploring, maybe without a real target necessarily, or knowing what the target is in my heart, but then just exploring, connecting with people, networking, and then organically these opportunities started to surface. Things like, yes, oh, we would love to have you speak to our group. Yes, come on in. And these invitations started to come out of, like, from the bushes. And there's this lightness and this ease to it. And I really believe there was that lightness and ease because, so if you imagine this channel and it's like clogged up with all the stuff, your baggage or past things that you haven't fully healed or shifted yet. And ideally it's this like smooth flowing channel of awareness or experiences, but it's clogged up, right? So as soon as you start to unclog those channels or those pipes where the energy, the experiences can flow through much more easily, then it does. It's like, it's sort of like easy breathing, simple, easy breathing. Or if we go back to that image of your gold and the treasure, and then there's all this stuff stacked on top of it and you can't even see it. Well, we're peeling back the layers and then we're seeing, oh my goodness, there's such a richness that has always been there. So that's the piece that's fascinating. It's not the riches in terms of the opportunities and opportunities to serve our clients and increase our incomes and increase cash flow and things like that. If the focus is outward and external, there's often going to always be this chasing to the external. But if we direct the attention and the focus and the healing internally, and we're peeling back the layers, unclogging those channels or those pathways, the riches are within us, and we've all been blessed and gifted with incredible talents within. And when, we've removed enough of the garbage or the things that don't serve us anymore, it allows us to actually tap into that and recognize them and own them, and then starts to use them. And then that is a very powerful, attractive field that you create to draw the experiences to you, to draw the right people to you. And all of those external forms or the manifestations of those are really just the effect of the deeper root cause, which is happening within you. So let's talk about some some of your gifts. So maybe you really know why you're here, what your mission is. And it's to serve people in a certain way that only you can do. And so all of your lived experience and maybe even your training has informed that, and you've cultivated your skills and talents to be able to show up and serve in a certain way. Well, that's amazing. And there also might be additional gifts that you haven't uncovered yet. So this is part of what has been happening, is this uncovering and discovery of all these gifts that have been kind of dormant, or just, I wasn't fully aware of some of these incredible gifts. And with some of them, I'm like, well, how do I even incorporate this into my life or work that I do? And the more I practice and work with them, I know that the clarity will come and continue to come and come and come. So that's a good thing. But in the beginning, I felt, maybe you can relate, but I felt a little bit like, oh, really? I can do that? And I'll share more about this as I really fully integrate it, which is why I'm kind of speaking a bit more generally about it, but also so that perhaps you can connect with it, right? So I don't want to project particular specific gifts. So I want it to also be relatable to your journey, because I know you have some gifts too. So it's been a few weeks of oh wow, okay, coming to terms with this and investigating it, understanding it a bit more, and having that new awareness integrate more fully. So then it starts to feel more natural and I'm much more at ease with it. But sometimes if we've had layers and layers of stuff and it's looking so covered and dark, and you can't even see even a glimmer of the shine from the gold that's underneath, when that starts to become uncovered, it can feel oh my gosh, almost like a blinding, oh, there's so much light and gold and goodness there that maybe you're feeling unfamiliar with. So, but I've heard the other experience too, where people just feel oh, it feels like a coming home, and it's and there's an aspect of that as well. But there were some really early childhood things where those experiences, things that we experience as a child, tend to have deeper roots. And I'm so grateful that they've been in the process of being uncovered and shifted and healed, transmutated. But still, there's potentially an association with safety, right? And it's not safe, or it's not okay to really shine your gifts brightly. So one example of this was just in school, things that were taught in school, I think, came pretty easily to me. And so I don't even remember specifics with my classmates, but there was definitely teasing and, sort of being made kind of the outcast because I was different. I remember wanting to walk around at recess. So this was in elementary school, and my favorite thing to do, and I would play tag and different jump rope games and, the classic kid things. But my favorite thing to do was to walk around the perimeter of the schoolyard, ideally with someone, because I think I felt sort of alone or lonely doing it by myself, but ideally with one other person, and to just talk about interesting things. I wish I had a mic recording the conversations that I wanted to have, but I remember that. And I also remember feeling that none of my classmates would really get what I'm trying to talk about, but some would kind of, just to be a kind friend, would walk with me. And so I share that because there are so many clues along the way, and if we dig just a little bit, we can start to recognize them, and then we can put the pieces together in a beautiful way. So I'm trusting in the process. I've had my moment of, oh my gosh, this is almost blinding to me. It's so shiny, and oh my gosh, can I really shine that brightly? Okay. To now kind of feeling a bit more comfortable with it and settled with it. And I'll probably be doing a dedicated podcast episode talking specifically about it once it's fully integrated within my being. So your business, your healing, your spirituality are all part of you. Your business is really just an expression of everything that you've experienced up to this point. And your business is also an opportunity for you to heal and grow and learn from so much. It's one of the greatest personal development tools out there, is to be a business owner. And when you're open to it, the divine will work its way into your life and heart if it hasn't already. And when it's fully accepted, also your business too. So let me know if you've resonated with any of these things that we've covered today, and if you like it. Any comments that you share, I read them, and it helps me. It helps to guide me and let me know what you're resonating with, so we can explore those topics more deeply. And if you really resonated with this, if you're a practitioner, you're a healer or a coach, and want to be enrolling more of your ideal clients, I have a dedicated masterclass. It's a free masterclass training. It's called the 3-part Sacred Sales System that you can check out. You can see the link in the description, click the link and register for it right away, and you'll be able to participate in this training and hopefully get on your way to enrolling more of who you're meant to serve, because you have these incredible talents and gifts. And if I can help you in any way that I can, I will. So I'm super happy to have shared this time with you. My name is Serenity Iris. I will talk to you soon.